Who are we? We are Southern Boating Supply. We are fishermen, boaters, and outdoor enthusiasts. We believe the best sunrises are seen from the front deck of a bass boat, and you haven't lived until you've watched it set over the Gulf of Mexico. We love paddling a kayak to unknown waters, hoping to get that one big bite in the skinny shallows, and breaking ice in a duck boat long before daylight, hoping to be rewarded with a strap full of mallards. We also believe in doing business the old school way, where a handshake means more than a contract and a man actually stands by his word. Where customers get put first in customer service, and where the word corporate will get you sent straight to the swear jar. Where quality matters over quantity, and priority number one is making sure that every single boater enjoys their precious time on the water. If that sounds like the way you see the world, you've arrived at the right place. Welcome to Southern Boating Supply, your anchor for quality boat parts.
It happens every night, and I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
Nope.
The summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time.
See.
This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
No, I don't
care. Heading my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Low budget, live, not so live from the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill here in beautiful southern Middle Tennessee. And I hope all you low-lifers are doing well out there. And if you're just tuning in for the first time and you're wondering what a low-lifer is, it's what you now are. They're a rowdy bunch. That's what the listeners and viewers of this program refer to themselves as, and they're a loyal bunch. And now that you're here, welcome. Welcome. Low-lifers, new and old. The OG low-lifers, as they call them. Low-lifers for life sometimes, as they are referred to. And, yeah, here we go. This is the podcast for Monday, June the 3rd. And we are clicking away yet another month. Time seems to fly by, especially when you're running around doing 47,000 things, as I tend to get myself into in life. And can't help but notice as I recorded this morning, June 3rd is exactly a month away from me being another year older in life. I turned the big 4-0 last year, so that would make me 41 for those that went to county school like I did. And yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about that. I this weekend at the Alabama Bass Trail 100 down on Weiss Lake, stop number 2 there, the ABT 100. Awesome event. First of all, let me say that. Awesome event. Congrats to Zeke Gossett and Ethan King, 2 young hammers, to say the very least. Incredible anglers. Finished second at the first ABT 100. They win all kinds of stuff all over the place. But they got the big dub, won over $36,000. Young fellas, if you will. So much, and this episode's about this. We're going to have a great conversation, a great guest that I've been looking forward to having on for a very long time, since he kind of burst onto the scene. But man, I'm hanging out down there. I got my buddies, little Sammy George and the LOB, Trey Swindle himself. They're staying where we were staying, all the ABT crew. So Friday, we may or may not have gone out to a local watering hole and got a little rowdy, maybe. Nothing bad, just probably too much Tito's for having to be on the blast-off boat at 5 a.m., if you know what I'm saying. I normally don't do that. Very professional, the utmost low budget, but professional. Try to show up on time. Do my deal. Was in a fog on the blast-off boat, thanks to these just younger fishermen, right? And there's a field full of them in every tournament trail right now. But I find myself, and I start the show with this, I guess because of turning 41 in a month, and man, I'm tired. I was walking off stage yesterday, and Zeke Goss's dad, I was kind of limping, kind of stove up a little bit, been raining all day, been wearing rain gear. Just one of them things, And he said, young man, you were too young to be hobbling around like that. And I said, buddy, I feel like I'm 20 years older. But nothing ever makes me feel that way more than seeing this youth movement. And what I'm getting at is I have become, and I am 40, lived a lot of life. And I catch myself constantly being the guy that's like, well, dude, when I was younger, dude, 20 years ago, dude, in every story I tell, I became that guy. I became that cliche at some point. It freaks me out. I was thinking about it driving home last night. I was like, damn, dude, they used to bite that bait, 20 years ago before y'all wasn't even off a tricycle yet. Y'all was still, crapping green in your diaper band. I was out there catching them back then, back before all this fishy scope stuff. Dude, I just turned into the old man at the gas station at some point. But thank God I don't have to hang out with them all the time. They're dear friends of mine. And they tried to kill me. They challenged me, and you can't do that. If you challenge me, I will fight back, as we've seen many times. But man, had a great time, even though I am definitely dealing with my own aging and not doing a very good job with it. It becomes more evident every day that I am the old man in the room, especially right now in the bass fishing world. Goodness gracious. And I think that I understand why some of the veterans in the professional bass fishing realm are so salty, because they're probably feeling the same way. Well, dude, when we were at the St. Johns River 20 years ago, before you were even born, we called them like this, and all these new things are being exposed, and it's got to be frustrating. And there's no doubt, man. I fished Guntersville Friday, and I was running around, and there's a ton of young anglers out on the water, and dude, it's just a different world. It's a different world. We had, guys that had fished a long time before electronics became, the talking point of everything. You had so much to yourself back then. And I think that's another thing, and I've said that on the show, is veterans were cool with youth coming into the sport because it was easy prey for them because they had an advantage. And now, dude, we being, people in fishing media, professional anglers, building an encyclopedia of fishing knowledge between YouTube, magazines, videos online. It's at everyone's fingertips, young and old, right? So I think fishermen as a whole, it's so much harder to win now because fishermen as a whole are so much better. So much better. Even the bad ones know what to do and can certainly muddy the waters and get in your way at times. I mean, when you're competing. So it's a new frontier out there, man. And I'm just the old man in the damn room. Like, I wish y'all turn that hippity hop music off. So I feel like some days. But anyways, rant over about that. Again, congrats, man. Zeke Gossett, Ethan King, two great young men. The ABT, Alabama Bass Trail 100, Trey and I fished those together for a couple seasons. I have the FOMO, as the kids say. I do hate not getting to compete in those, even though I get to work there. I get to be a part of the event more than ever. They're so much fun, man. Me and John Simpson, ABT Tournament Director John Simpson, and Daniel Montgomery, we were talking about that yesterday afternoon. They are so much fun. The small field, but then the cast of characters you've got, everything from Justin Hamner, 2024 Bassmaster Classic champion, to my buddy Justin Atkins. You've got You've got Scott Canterbury, Elite Series Angler of the Year in the mix. You've got several MPFL pros. You got some BPT guys. Alex Davis, invitational pro and just a fantastic fisherman. Dude, it's a crew. We've got All American champions in there. It is a salty bunch. And so if you can come out on top or win Angler of the Year or whatever in that crowd, anytime Trey and I did good, you kind of pat yourself on the back a little bit, to be honest, because it's bragging rights and it's a tough crowd. But I do miss fishing those. They are very fun events. Not a shameless plug for Miss K because she doesn't need it. The 100s always fill up. But right now, as we speak, as you're listening to this, signups are live for the ABT 100s for next year. They do fill up. They fill up fast. The schedule next year is insane. Gunnersville in January. June, Eufaula closes out on my home pond of Wilson Lake, right down the road from the bar and grill here. So sign up, man. If you dare, if you've got a partner that you want to go chase down some big money with, 3 tournaments and over $36,000, I believe, is what Zeke and Ethan took home for winning it all between boat contingencies and all that. It's the place to be. $25,000 first place plus contingencies. So come out and hang out with us. But shameless plug right there for Miss K. But absolute blast in the ABT 100. Lots of fish got caught at Weiss Lake. Had a great time running around in the Express out there, covering it, watching it all go down. Speaking of the All-American, I want to say congratulations to Paul Marks Jr. This is a young man, again, youth movement, but you better circle his name 3 times. He's in the Bassmaster EQ Angler of the Year race right now. Coming into the season, he was a guy that I was told you better watch out for. He's coming. He's going to be a big name. He's one of those Lanier guys. Some of those Lanier fishermen rise to the top, it seems. And he was able to go win the All-American. And I think you'll see his name in that Bassmaster Elite Series, within a year or so, if not next year, right? If not just the next season. But he's fighting it out in those EQs. Still a lot of tournaments to go, but congrats to him. And the All-American, for me, has always been one of those events that's so prestigious in bass fishing. Now, it's a shell of its former self. Used to, it was back in the FLW days, even the Operation Bass days. I mean, they brought you in, man. It was like the classic used to be, where you fished out of their boats, they wine you, dine you, and everything. So it has fallen off as far as the premier event that it was. But that being said, still one of the hardest to qualify for, period, end of story. There are people that make it a lot, and that's incredible to me because it is a gauntlet, right? But it is still one of the most prestigious titles in bass fishing. If you can get there and you can win it, and we've seen everybody from Shaw Grigsby to Skeet Reeses to Jacob Wheelers win that event, and lots of folks in between. So congrats to Paul. I'm sure it's not the last time you will hear that young man's name. Go ahead and be looking him up. All right, let's thank some sponsors real fast. And then we're going to have a great conversation with a great guest that I'm looking forward to chatting up with it in a drama-free zone. I keep seeing all these folks make posts. It's so funny. I do want to address this because obviously this show has been dramatic at times. A lot more less dramatic episodes than dramatic, I would say, considering I do 52 a year. But there's been a lot of talk. I keep seeing clips of people that I know to be very dramatic. Saying, they too much drama in bass fishing, and people that have certainly caused drama in bass fishing. But I keep seeing these things, man. And I guess sorry, my microphone is cutting out. I guess it's the same as the people. What's worse, the people bitching about things online, or the people bitching about the people bitching, right? Like if you're crying about it, that's also dramatic. It's very odd to me, but everybody, I guess, has a lane. Sometimes they cross over. So anyways, it's just, I do find it though, because I do feel like sometimes, because I've read comments, I've seen things obviously over time, and I do feel like it's a direct shot. And to me, it comes off more with, if you're actually honest and you're not chicken, that there's a difference in that and drama or being dramatic. I mean, you know, I like to, I will always stand by who I am and what I am. And, you know, so there you go. There's you another sound bite. All right. Let's roll into some sponsor reads, because we have people that support the show that we appreciate greatly. And then we're going to talk to a damn Tennessee Vol. Gill Fishing, gillfishing.com. You can use code LBL Gift. LBL Gift at gillfishing.com is going to get you a free gift if you spend $100. Get you some of the sun gloves. Get you one of it's floppy hat, big hat season. Just got one of those in. Get you a sun shirt. Get you a rain suit. Gillfishing.com. Spend $100. LBL Gift. Lets them know you're a lowlifer, and they're just going to send you something nice right there. Pro Guide Batteries, ProGuideBatteries.com. You can use code LBL10 at checkout there to let them know you're a lowlifer. Pick you up one of the new battery chargers. Pick up some of those awesome lithium batteries. I'm running the all-in-one 36 volt. Actually running two of those in parallel. It's a pretty daggum flawless system. I'll just tell you, I rarely worry about, do I have enough trolling motor juice today? That just doesn't happen. I'm also running some of those lithium cranking batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com, LBL10. Baitworks.com, bait-wrx, bait-wrx.com. Duncan-10 is the code you need there to let them know you are a lowlifer. And I am telling you, once again, LOB Jig, Hot Pocket, LOB Jig, Hot Pocket, LOB Jig, Hot Pocket color. I promise you, this thing right here is stupid. I had another banner day on it Friday. Get you some Toad Thumper, crawl gills on there, and go to town, dude. Duncan-10, get you a bunch of other stuff too. But I'm telling you, LOB Jig, dude, blown away. Sam George and Trace Wendell both caught fish over 5. They actually had a 7-pounder. They sucked in the tournament though. Got to give my boys some, you know, gotta mess with them, keep them honest. But Sam caught a 7-pounder on the LOB Friday. Oopsie, set the hook. And then Trey had one about 5, and they had several more bites. And some of the fish they weighed yesterday came on the LOB. So I'm telling you, don't sleep. Don't sleep on the LOB. And last but not least, hang the banner. The Bassmaster Classic winning all-welded aluminum bass boat. I'm running that X21 Pro LE right now, but the X19, the X21 Pro, they're all amazing vessels. But don't sleep on that H series, the H17, the H18. One of our camera ops in the ABT just bought an H18. Slick rig, and they just dropped the H20, ready for a 175 Yamaha show. More tackle storage than you can shake a stick at. It's got the same sea deck, big old boat that's not too hard on your wallet, the H20. Check them out, expressboats.com. or at a local dealer. Express Boats, building excitement since 1966. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited. This young man burst onto the scene at Toledo Bend with a top 10 in the Bassmaster Elite Series, his first ever Bassmaster Elite Series. He's from up on Old Rocky Top. He's a former Tennessee volunteer fishing team member. Ladies and gentlemen, Elite Series rookie, Robert G. All right, as promised, here he is, the Vol for life, Robert G. Big Rob, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. You know, I'm a low lifer. I've been watching this show for a while, and I'm just glad to finally be on.
Well, and I saw you in the crowd out there at Tulsa. You and Johnny Garrett were some of the first people. The only break that I really got to take all night, y'all were some of the first ones I ran into as I was desperately trying to find the bathroom in that place. They packed out the Hunt Club, and y'all were watching our Tennessee Vols basketball team that night, and it came down to the wire, and so we got to celebrate that for a few minutes together. So yeah, I know you're a low lifer, man, and I'm proud to finally have you on the Dadgum Show.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that night at the Hunt Club, me and John were stressed out. The Vols, they were about to give up the win to, I forgot who we were playing that night, but it was Texas. That was it.
Yeah.
And we were in there watching the game. The only person watching the Tennessee game, but it was stressful.
And I tried to start a Rocky Top chant.
I know. I was all in.
It was about 3 or 4 of us, and everybody else was just kind of staring. But it was still worth it.
Oh, it was worth it for sure.
Totally worth it. Those Okies, they can get a dose of that. I don't care.
Oh, yeah, they need it, especially since we're going to Oklahoma this year.
Got to go to Norman. One of my good friends, Ryan Engelman, that actually played in the band that night with us. He lives right outside of Norman, and he is an OU guy, and that chatter has already started. So I actually think they're going to be on the road though when we play out there, because I was going to try to go to Norman, and then he was going to try to come to Knoxville next year and just kind of hang out. It's wild to think about Oklahoma and Texas being SEC teams now, but here we go. Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. Like every tournament, you think about just the SEC basketball tournament, the implications of that, but now you think about the football, the way everything's going to change with the divisions now. They're out. It's just going to be the top 2 records, and then the baseball tournament just is going to be even crazier next year too.
For sure.
I'd
say us and Oklahoma will be a good football rival because of Heupel.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, that'll be a ton of fun. And every non-SEC person that's listening to this right now is going, "Please shut up." But I don't care. I don't care.
I don't either. I'm a Vol fan, man. Like, ride or die.
Well, there's been a lot of I won't say
thick and thin in my life. I mean, it's bad years.
It's tough being a Tennessee Volunteer sometimes. There's no doubt about it.
Tough.
Especially in football, we've had more heartbreak than we have celebrations in the last 20 whatever years.
I think my first 3 years while I was in college at Tennessee, we won 2 SEC games, or first 3 or 4, we won 2.
Oof. Now, what stretch was that? What years? Because you've not been out long. I mean, you just graduated last year, right?
Right after Butch, right when Pruitt took over, and it was horrible.
You and I are recording fairly early in the morning, and it's too early for you to say the name Butch Jones or Jeremy Pruitt because I don't have any alcohol close enough right now. I almost drank myself silly during those seasons. It's tough to watch, man. It was tough to watch. So you did pick some bad years to be in college, Rob. You picked some bad years to be up on the hill. You certainly did. Dude, talk about. I've met several of the guys from the UT fishing team, and I've had a young man from my hometown, Hunter Schultz, was on it for years back in the day. Was really one of the first founding members, I believe. Mm-hmm. Talk about college fishing, because I think there's so much emphasis on it, right? Because there's this huge youth movement. I talked about that in the first of the show today, that there's this huge youth movement, but it's bizarre at some of the big schools like a UT or Auburn or some of the others. It's not really a sanctioned university sport at some of the big schools, right?
Yeah, so it's a club sport for what the university classifies it, so that means the university gives you about $1,000 a semester for your club. And besides that, you have to pretty much go and raise the money like you're fishing the opens or you're fishing on the elites. You got to go and call the sponsors yourself as a team, because we didn't have a coach. We were all team ran, like just a bunch of college guys running the team, like no coach whatsoever. So we were booking all our hotels, raising all our money, like outlining our season of where we're going and who's going to that, all on our own. So it was a really, I feel like for me, it was a good eye opener for how it was going to be fishing the opens. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wasn't stressed out. Like my coach wasn't getting me hotel rooms and planning my schedule to go to these trips like in the opens because I'd already been doing that for 5 years at UT. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I guess those conversations too with industry people or folks outside the industry, you get more comfortable talking to potential sponsors about the business of fishing. And that I say it all the time on here. If you're going to do it for a living, that's bigger than the fish catching a
For
lot
sure.
of times. And like you just said, the hotel booking, people never think about the stress of traveling if they don't travel a lot, I guess. And I'm same way. I've been traveling since I was a kid, all over the place fishing tournaments, and you take your licks along the way too, like booking the wrong hotels or just whatever you learn on the road. There's so much.
For
I've been on
sure.
the road truly since I was about 17, traveling all over the place, man. And I'm grateful for that education I got. But if you have never had that, and then you go, you know what? I've been doing this in these clubs. I've been fishing regionally. I'm going to jump into the opens, 9 tournaments across the country. And you got to figure out all the logistics of that on top of trying to beat several of the best bass fishermen in the country, man. You're behind the 8 ball.
For sure. Like I feel like I kind of since doing it in college, I kind of knew like the amount of money I needed to raise because we reimbursed everybody on the club for gas and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that was our way of doing it, and that really just helped me. Like, and my title sponsor for the opens last year, and then my title sponsor this year, I met and made a relationship with that guy, Enduro Power Batteries, in college.
That's
like,
awesome.
because he was a graduate of Tennessee, and he just reached out to the team, and I just helped him. Like, started working for him at the shows, and I went to ICAST with him just for free. Like, you know what I mean? Just went down there to try to build a relationship, and that's kind of how I got going in the right direction. You know?
That's awesome, man. Would you guys see that as a team? Because we see that on the sports side of it, obviously way bigger. But now with NIL and all that, these alumni, they want to contribute. Hey, we want this to shine. I'm a Tennessee guy, but do you guys feel that from that area up there for former
sure.
Tennessee graduates and things?
For sure, and I think it's kind of hurt the Tennessee bass fishing team lately with the NIL being available to the athletes. Because whenever I was first there, like all the donors could donate to us because we actually could receive money. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
yeah.
now they can give the athletes. So we kind of have to go out of state now for what I'm hearing on the team. Like they get, I think their title sponsor now is like Bridgeford Foods or something.
Yeah.
And like it used to be just local companies, but now that all those guys are sponsoring the athletes, like the baseball players and the football team. And so it's kind of, and I talked to Logan Parks because we're roommates, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the similar deal at Auburn too. Is like they're
Okay.
giving all the money to the athletes, so the fishing team's kind of looking for different areas to find like money. You know.
I would have never even thought about that, to be honest. That is so dang interesting because NIL is the buzzword in all the college sports, but they technically couldn't give money unless it was at Alabama. We all know they were paying players anyway.
For sure.
There'll be a bunch of roll tides in the comments about right here when this posts. But no, I that's so crazy because they're like, hey, I got this extra cash. I like these young men out here representing Tennessee doing the bass fishing thing. And then they're like, oh, there's Nico.
Yep. Exactly.
We got to put this in the collective to get that 5-star quarterback over here for Josh Heupel. Unbelievable, man. That's interesting because it's a far cry difference from schools that I guess the Bethels, where I guess it's still a club there technically, but man, they're kicking out.
It's a sport there. Like their
sport.
University considers it a sport. Like they get funded by the university too.
Yeah, and you see that with Montevello. You see that with I'm trying to think of some of the others that pop up a lot.
Like Emmanuel and
not
Carson Newman.
Yeah, Carson Newman. Yeah, that was the other one I was thinking of. These schools that they're not the big D1 powerhouses, SEC schools or ACC schools, whatever the case may be. And I guess there are, man, at UNA, they support them down there. I know that. It's just, I say this all the time. it's so different though than when I was in college. And I started the show by saying I've turned into the old guy in the room. It's like, well, when 20 years ago they bit this so good, and 20 years ago, but when I was at UNA, it's so cool for me now to see that they've got one of the best bass fishing teams in the deal, because I was the only one down there. There was me and one other dude I would run into sometime at Tuesday night. Like, hey, man, you like to fish too? All right, high five. That was it. There was my teachers, I'd go to them because I was fishing the opens, and I'd say, hey, like I'll never forget, like I had a presentation, like in a Trapper Keeper. Okay. That's how old I am, Rob. And I would go and I had like laminated pages. Like I thought this presentation was good. And I was like, this is Bassmaster. This is what I do. And I would show them like, hey, there's going to be 3 weeks this fall, because all the opens were in the fall then. There's going to be 3 weeks this fall. I'm not going to be here. And so I would go in and request, like, can I miss a test? What will you do if I do? And I was fortunate to have some professors that would work with me. I had a lot of them that didn't give a dang. So I guess I say all that to say, what was your experience at UT with professors in the tournament?
That was exactly how our experience was. Because like you said, all these other schools that consider bass fishing as a sport, like on their sports list, they got class excuse notes from like the school. Okay. Like, hey, they're going to be gone for competition, so you got to let them go. We had a sports club like printout of like travel request, and we had to go just beg our teachers, like, hey, don't fail us for not being here. Like, we have it somewhat of an excuse to be gone. Like, it's approved by the school, but it's up to your discretion whether you want to fail us or not. You know, whether like we had to work with them on like, if we had an exam that week, if they would even move it. Like some teachers, like the ones that were, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't let you go. Like people, I know some guys would roll in the night before the tournament with no practice just to fish the tournament because they had to take an exam that day. And that was brutal. But I was very dedicated in the college fishing. So I was definitely making it. I was definitely going and practicing. You know what I mean?
Were you scratching by? What kind of GPA we talking about here, Rob? Like how many tests did we miss?
I wouldn't say I was a star student. You know what I mean? I wasn't, but I didn't fail out, which is good.
You graduated.
I graduated.
I read you actually missed graduation to fish the Open on Wheeler last year.
On Wheeler, I did. I weighed in on day 2 as I was supposed to be walking across the stage.
No way. And how did you finish at Wheeler? Because I know you were 4th place in the EQ race overall. Where'd you end up?
20th.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was a good decision then.
Yeah, it was a good decision. I got a check. Great points in the Opens. 20th place. I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not easy. How did your family feel about that though?
Oh my gosh. My mom was not too happy.
That's exactly where I was going with it.
Oh,
Mama was not happy.
She made me like take pictures before I left in my cap and gown. Like, you're not going to go to graduation, so at least I have to document it that you are actually graduating.
I had a tournament the week after I graduated, but I wanted to leave and I didn't want to walk. And graduation, the ceremony was on Saturday, and Teresa Duncan said, "Let me explain this to you. You're not you can leave tomorrow, big guy. Yep. You're not leaving. You're not leaving and missing graduation." So I walked, and so I know you probably felt the wrath a little bit right there. But look, dude, it worked out. 4th place in the EQs. Now you're in the Elite Series, 24th right now in the Bassmaster Elite Series Angler of the Year race. How does that even? Do you think about that, or is it too early in the season to even go, I am on a trajectory to make the Bassmaster Classic?
I don't think about that too much. Like last year in the Opens, I didn't think about the points too much until like the last 2 tournaments. But I'm honestly kind of just frustrated real bad because of my day 1 at Fork.
Okay.
Like, I had a bomb day, like worst day I've had in probably 5 years on the water, just tanking. You know what I mean? Like one of them days where nothing went right. And that was my tournament. You know what I mean? To get a good finish. You know what I mean? Like I was on fish. Like Justin Atkins and Taku were in the same creek I was. And Taku had 38 pounds that day, and Atkins had 32 pounds. Mm-hmm. And every one I hooked, I lost. or
Mm.
broke off. Like, it was just one of those days, and I was just in a downward spiral, like just crashing and burning. But that one, I really wish I had that day back, just because I feel like I should have made a top 25 at least, and that would probably boost me way up farther in the points.
When
I
you were
finished
just
like in the 80s in that tournament.
and you were just coming off of a top 10, you bust onto the scene. That's what I said in your intro. And dude, you were Toledo Bend top 10. You were all over Bassmaster Live. You were the guy on Bassmaster Live. Every time I tuned in, I actually remember talking about that on the show. And dude, you showcased your personality. You were being educational. And I'm like, this dude right here is a superstar. And I know it had to be frustrating though, coming off that and you're feeling high and mighty, like, dang, man, here we go. Lake Fork back to back, could be similar deal, and have a rough first day.
Yeah, it was tough. I think what got me was just I'd never fished a 4-day tournament, like back to back, back to back. And then I had to start practice the next day, right after day 4. And I was just worn out. I wasn't making good decisions. My mental state was a little low because I couldn't like grind myself back into it. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't making good decisions on that first day.
Well, and it is a gauntlet. Those back-to-back weeks like that, I don't think enough gets said about that, really. It is physically hell at times, I have no doubt, but mentally, though, what you just mentioned right there, if you are exhausted and you're not just as sharp as you need to be, you zig when you should zag sometimes.
That's exactly what happened.
No doubt, man. Well, looking towards the rest of the season, I read you've got some experience up north. Obviously, you've been there with the Opens. You've been there before with college stuff as well. I mean, how do you think the rest of the season goes? Are you looking forward to it? Do you have one kind of circled on the schedule? And I know we got Alabama coming up, Alabama and then up north.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I've been to Wheeler and Smith before. I've been to Smith a few times, but that time of year, I have no idea what's about to happen, honestly.
Nobody does.
It's going to be interesting, to say the least. But hopefully we can get through those two, because I live on Fort Loudon, which is the Tennessee River, and I'm always on the Tennessee River fishing. So hopefully it's similar to what's happening right now next week at Wheeler, and hopefully I can get a good finish there. And up north, I like fishing that way because they just bite way better than anything down here. And like, I'm just really looking forward to that, because it's kind of like a vacation along with fishing a tournament, because you just catch them so good up there. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, we're going to have probably 23 pounds at Champlain a day to make a check, and then 24 at St. Lawrence to make a check. So it's going to be an absolute whack fest at both of those, probably.
Insane to think about, but those lakes up there just only get better, I feel like, and the fish only get bigger. And then as the tournament anglers are getting more and more
better too.
Everybody's getting better and everybody knows what to do. And then, in a place like the St. Lawrence, especially, or Champlain, there's some of these folks that have been there 20 plus times at this point.
I've never been to Champlain.
Such a beautiful lake, man. That's a cool one. It is so huge, though. It's one of those places when you put your boat in and you're from Middle Tennessee like I am. I'll never forget the first time you look around and go, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to even do here?
Yeah.
So all those big lakes are like that, though, man. Like all the northern big bodies of water, the Great Lakes, and Champlain might as well be one of the Great Lakes. It's a weird feeling bobbing around out there in a 21-foot bass boat sometimes.
Yeah, you just pray it doesn't blow over 7 miles per hour.
Yes, and even then,
that's my prayer.
Yes,
every time on the big lakes like that. Like, please, stay under 7 today.
Fort Loudon and Douglas don't get like that.
No, not at all.
I mean, they can get bumpy, but dude, sometimes up there you can pay for it. That is for sure. What would you say your overall experience has been like? I've had some of the rookies on this year, but what's your overall experience been like on the Elite Series, being a part of this rookie class that they're dominating? There's some controversy that surrounds it. We know we talk about that all the time. You're not one of those guys, though, obviously, but I'm just saying, what's your overall experience been like, though, being on the Elites, maybe mixing it up with the veterans, with sponsors? What's your overall experience been like?
Dude, it's been insane, honestly. Like, I still have to pinch myself waking up. Like, I can't believe I'm on the Elite Series, you know?
That's
And,
awesome.
but it's been just exactly what I expected. Like, just going to blast off every day, looking around, you see Rick Clunn, Patrick Walters, the Johnston brothers. You're just like, what am I doing out here? Like, how am I out here against these guys? This is insane. But it's been good. Like, I haven't really felt like nobody's been like mean to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people are trying to portray it, but you have heard the chatter, like all the online stuff. I mean, yeah, that's happening. But
Well, it's this broad stroke accusation kind of stuff. You know what I mean? If that
yeah,
makes sense. Like everybody tries to lump everybody in. And I know there was, I saw Logan Parks. My voice is going out. Logan Parks. And then Kyle, after the Zaldane podcast, they were like, hey, whoa, time out. Not
yeah,
all rookies are created equal. Don't do this. And I know certainly guys like you, John Garrett, there's so many good guys in that group that you don't want to get lumped in if there are bad eggs, right? And this is all just chatter. But if you don't want to get lumped in with that, man, at
no,
all.
not at all. That is kind of rubbed me the wrong way. How they said rookies are living in like all. I think they said like all rookies or something like that. Like
Yeah,
rookies are living in the gray or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't really care that much about it. You know what I mean? Because
I get it.
I'm out here trying to catch a bass for a living. Like, I got the best job right now in the world. My dream, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm on the positive side. I always try to think about the positives because, like, you know
Yeah,
how this game's such a mental battle, and you can just stay on that positive, just everything's like focus on the wins and stuff like that.
no doubt.
Focus on like your small victories. So I try to look at it like that. So, but I've met some really good guys out here on the elites this year. Like, I shared a spot with Joseph Webster at Murray. Like, we set literally
Good dude.
rub rail to rub rail, like old Kentucky Lake 2018 kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Like rub rail to rub rail. And I had a great day with him. Like, that's a great guy right there. And
He
I'm
is.
just trying to make buddies like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Joseph's one of those. He's a fine fella. I've
He
been
is.
knowing Joseph many years, and he's fishing MPFL with us this year too. He's a great guy. Who is your favorite veteran out there? I know you just mentioned Joseph, but do you have one that you're like, that's my guy? That's kind of that maybe has surprised you coming up to you, giving you advice, anything like that? Have you had anything like that happen so far?
So Joseph, I will say I like him a lot. And Rick Clunn, Rick Clunn at Murray.
Oh man,
Listen to this. Like, how the old live scope controversy and everything.
yeah.
Rick Clunn came up to me at Murray and started asking me, he's like, hey, could you help me set up my live scope with the gain and like all the color? What do you have these percentages on? And I was like, I'll be happy to help you because he's trying to learn. You know what I mean? Like, that was awesome. Just Rick Clunn coming up to me before blast off saying, hey, what's your color gain set on and what's your gain on right now? I'm having trouble seeing my bait. And I'm like, heck yeah.
That
What's up,
is.
Rick Clunn? That's crazy. You asked me.
Oh, it's just the greatest bass fisherman of all time. No big deal. I do see him. I see his social media presence on post about the younger anglers. Like he's all about it. He started that for me, which I've been around Rick a few times in life, and he's always very encouraging. He's that kind of guy. But I remember when Cody Huff was in college. And Cody first embraced live scope and was doing that. And he and Rick fished together a lot. And I remember Cody telling me stories of how Rick was trying to embrace it and wanted to. And then I remember Cody telling me Rick's out here buying glide baits and trying to mix up his arsenal from what he's done for so many years, over 50 years, obviously in the sport. So man, that's something you'll never forget right there, Rob.
Not at all. And also another quick story. This is just random. But Cody Huff, everybody wants to complain about us using live scope. And for us college guys like me, John, Logan, and all of us, he is the reason we have it and use it. Because that year on the college series, oh my gosh, it was before we all had it and he had it.
Oh, yeah.
We got train railed by Cody Huff with live scope. So that's the reason why we embraced it and tried to get good at it because to that Toledo Bend tournament, he was fishing on a different lake than us.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll never. Well, he was fishing on a different lake than and a bunch of them. He won the college, and he won a Toyota there, and that awoke a sleeping giant in the whole industry because there were a lot of people that knew about it, and there were a lot of people that had it, but there was nobody, in my opinion, at the time that was as dialed as Cody. Nobody, pros or amateurs alike. And Cody, maybe some of the crappie guys. I'll give crappie guys were pretty dialed on it. I'll give them credit. They were really the first to expose how good it was. But Cody was the one you start hearing whispers about, and
I blame Cody.
I blame Cody.
I blame Cody Huff for Live Scope.
All you internet haters out there, get on Cody Huff Fishing, get on his Instagram and his Facebook. It's his fault.
It's his fault. It's all his fault.
Cody Huff, one of the nicest humans to ever roam the earth. Go blame him.
Yep.
Cody's one of my favorites too, man. He's that's a good dude. And one that I am surprised, I'll put him on blast right here. I'll put him on the spot. I am surprised hasn't won multiple Elite Series yet. I really am surprised. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But I am surprised we haven't seen that yet. He's had some close calls, but dude,
he just got second at Murray.
I was gonna say close calls, but dude, he's always around it. It seems like
always. He's one of me, John, and Logan's roommates. Me, Cody, John, and Logan, and we have a YouTube channel too. We got a camera guy following us around.
Yeah, see the stuff. It's good stuff.
That out. But Cody is dialed in, son. He's gonna win before the season's over. I'm calling it.
Well, he came close at Champlain last year. I remember the footage was just incredible. I feel like he'll be a threat there. But, dude, he's going to be a threat at Wheeler.
He's a threat everywhere.
That's right. Smith, everywhere. I feel like he'll be a threat because of the Highland Lake stuff, fishing bull shoals and Table Rock as much as he has. He's probably seen similar scenarios. So, Cody's definitely if you're one of those fantasy fishing playing guys, you better just always keep Cody somewhere on your team.
Oh, no doubt.
The season, I feel like. But that's a heck of a house. We have a group on the MPFL. I call it the Hero House. You got Patrick Walters, Drew Cook, Trent Palmer, Mike Corbishley, and Justin Kimmel. And I call them the Hero House, and they're always just like in the top 20, several of them in the top 10. But I would say John Garrett, Rob G, Logan Parks, and Cody Huff house is a Hero House too.
It's a pretty good house. It's great to cut up with them when we get off the water and, just try to get more dialed in on what the lake's doing. It's good people to bounce ideas off of. You know what I mean? Do you think that is that's something that the younger anglers do better than the veteran guys is the networking? Because you guys are less, I feel like you're less guarded because when I was younger, Rob, the veteran guys, like a lot of them stayed by themselves. There might be two of them. Sometimes they would share water. Sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they would share information with each other. But I feel like networking is so big amongst the younger anglers. So it's just kind of, since we've been obsessed with this bass fishing, we're watching the older guys do and we try to learn from them like what they've been doing the past 10 years. You know what I mean? And you see guys like Drew Cook and then like Drew Cook and Drew Benton, and they share everything. Yep. And Patrick Walters and who does he room with? Hamner. Oh, Hamner. Them two. And there's a lot of guys so we're just like, this gives you a little bit extra of an edge if you share some stuff, you know what I mean? And you dial a place in a little bit better and it'll help you cash more checks, you know what I mean? So that's the name of the game, is trying to make money. So if that can happen, and if you're on the winning fish, let them have it, you know what I mean? But help the other guys catch a limit, you know what I'm saying? So it's no doubt. And kind of similar to college fishing, that's kind of how it was. So I feel like that's kind of why we embrace it a little bit more. Yeah, because you're as a team, University of Tennessee, you're all trying to do as good as you can do. Did anybody in the house have an idea that Johnny Garrett was fixing to blow that thing out? Did John himself, was there a feeling that week, even before the tournament started, this may be John? It's actually wild to think about because him and Cody found that spot. Oh, wow. And they shared it the first 2 days. I didn't know that. So, but then Cody just let him have it the day 3 because he had such a big lead, and so either of them could have won. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow.
They were sitting like rub rail to rub rail, I think.
I didn't know that. I didn't get to watch a ton of that tournament until the last day, I
But
guess.
none of us thought they like. We all thought in the house we were like, yeah, everyone else has found that hole. It's a juice hole. It's what they're a big wad of them. So somebody else is going to be on it because they were both like, one of them was boat 78 and the other one was boat 89. So like, there's no way they're going to get on it. So I was just like, yeah, you found the best hole, but somebody else is going to win it. Buddy Gross is going to win it off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Nobody found it.
nope. I guess they did, but they didn't run to it because I feel like that was the chatter that morning at takeoff. Like, you going to Carlton? You going to fish that juice hole? And everybody was like, I was like looking around at John and Cody, like, I think they found your hole, but nobody went because I feel like everyone thought somebody else was going to run to it first. So they were hitting their secondary stuff.
That's
But
like
they just rolled up and started blacking on them.
That's like the old, like you pull into the Walmart parking lot. There's always a parking spot up front because everybody just always assumes there's not one, so they go to the back a lot of times.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
that's exactly what happened.
Mentality. Dang, the stars align sometimes, man. I did not know that he and Cody shared it though. That for 2 days. So John gets to give Cody an extra hard time because he beat him on the spot.
Yeah, that's it's interesting.
Dang, man, that is
it was kind of weird because Cody would like go up shallow and like leave for 30 minutes and then it would just fire up the school and John would catch him every cast cranking whenever he would leave. It was just bad luck, you know what I mean?
John's like, can you do a couple laps?
That's what it sounded like, at least.
That's amazing, man. Well, it's certainly, I mean, to see the rookie success to this point, all of your success, and then to know that there's still a lot of fishing left to go. I think we haven't seen the last rookie hoist a blue trophy. We give away NPFL shields. So yeah. Everything runs together, Rob. I talk a lot of bass fishing for a lot of different people. But I don't think we've seen the last. I don't think we've seen the last blue trophy get won by a rookie. Will the rookie of the year race? Because I know Trey's up there in the lead and all that, and JT. But will we see a shift in that later in the season? You think? You got any predictions? Any thought? Because I mean, obviously, lots of things going on. Fishing lights out, but I mean, anything can happen with several weeks to go.
I don't know, man. I fished against all these guys last year in the EQs. I mean, catch them everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'll probably just stay how it is. Like, I don't know. Like,
all gas, no brakes. You don't see.
Yeah, it's all gas, no brakes everywhere. Like,
it certainly seems to be.
Trey is. I think he might win both. To be honest,
if he does that, that's just an incredible storyline to even wrap your head around. No matter, I mean, it's would be something to see. There's no doubt about it.
He's blowing it away right now.
But you gotta sometimes, even if you're young Trey McKinney, which he doesn't seem to be fazed by much, you gotta look over your shoulder and see that guy that's in second.
Lead. I know I would be feeling it if I was in the lead.
Anybody should be feeling that because in case you're wondering, he's also fishing pretty damn good right now.
Very good.
Lights out. Any other year, he would be blowing out Angler of the Year. You got to think about that. Like on a normal kind of year where Trey's having this superb, like out of body experience kind of year, but Jordan is just on fire right now.
No doubt. I mean, the guys in the top like 12 are on fire, honestly.
That's true, dude. And I feel like every year, though, like we said, fishermen are getting better. The overall field gets better and better and better. Every time they put another 9 in there from those EQs, it's like, oh my gosh, this year will be no exception. I have no doubt about it. It's only going to get tougher to compete out there. It's only going to get tougher to requalify in the elites. It's definitely it's been fun to see, but this rookie class was between all the younger guys, between Ben Milliken, this is the most interesting rookie class I think we've ever had or have had in many, many years.
Yeah, I don't know if many people talk about this, but last year in the Opens, if you see our point total, I think the top 7 guys in the EQ point total last year would have won AOY
Yes.
every other year of the Opens.
Yes. I don't think it's been talked about enough, but yeah, fishermen turn into great. They're great with numbers when it comes to points. And you go, well, if I have this amount, if I get this amount of points out of 9 events, I should be close. Well, last year that did you no good. That math was
Not
no
at all.
good at all.
That's what's
Because-
crazy about it.
Yeah,
Literally, the guy in 7th would have won AOY the previous year.
unbelievable to think about. So for you to be 4th in that, man, got to make you proud. All right, I gotta ask you. I see in your Bassmaster profile, Rob G, you're a cornhole master.
Oh yeah.
And it also says billiards. Are you a pool shark? Are you out here pool sharking people?
You know, if there's a pool table around, I like my odds. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to give them a dose at a pool hall, huh?
Yeah, for sure. That was how I got free drinks at UT. You know what I mean?
For real?
Oh yeah.
Where's the pool spot in Knoxville for Rob G? Do they have your jersey hanging up there? Did they retire
So
it?
the pool spot in college was a place called Cool Beans.
Okay.
So if anybody at UT knows, Cool Beans is the spot. It's on Cumberland Avenue on the Strip.
On Cumberland Ave, and they knew not to show up when Rob G was there. Though,
yeah, I tried to shark them a little bit too. You know, like hit the ball on the break, let them break, stuff like that.
Remind me when I see you at Low Budget Live next year in Fort Worth to stay away from you if you're around a pool table, because I'm a ping pong guy.
Yeah.
I like some games like that, dude. I'm bad at a lot of things in life, Rob G. I'm so bad at pool that I should probably have my man card revoked. Like, you can't be as bad at pool as I am. It's terrible.
I'm not that good at ping pong, so that's my game is pool over ping pong for sure.
Yeah, I like me some ping pong. I've been playing pickleball with my kids some this spring, and I like stuff like that. But yeah, terrible at pool. But I had to ask that. I'm like, okay, when someone lists billiards, I'm yeah, you know, this ain't. Oh, I like to shoot pool with my buds. This is like, this man is serious.
I just put that on there to look fancy. You know what I mean?
You have your custom pool cue?
I mean, I do. Yeah, I got my own. I don't take it. Like, I'm not one of those guys that takes it
with it over your shoulder, dude.
I don't do that.
Your name on it?
No. I've never taken it away from my house, but I do have my own stick. You know what I mean? At the house. But,
well, Lucas King from Yamaha, if he's watching this, we need a Yamaha blue case.
Yeah, I need a pool
Yamaha Pro Billiards for Rob G.
Because I've always seen those guys that roll in with their own stick. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Do you beat those guys though?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they're too hard to handle with their fancy glove on and all that.
I love it so much.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Just use the stick that they have here.
Oh my gosh. There's one in every crowd, man. I guess it's like the guy that pulls up to the Tuesday nighter with all the bells and whistles and the jacked up truck and whatever, and the guy in the 12-foot flat bottom beats him. You know, that's we say it all the time, man. That's the way of the world. All right. I also read too. We'll shut her down with this. You are a very good baseball player. Won state championships. You've even played. I read a great article by Mark Hicks that you played with Spencer Strider, who plays for the Braves. Fantastic pitcher on the Braves. But that you turned down baseball scholarships just so you could stay closer to home because you are a Knoxville guy and go bass fishing. So that's where you went to the UT.
I sure did. You know, I had a few offers to go play like Division II, Division III, and NAIA JUCO stuff. But, you know, talking to my older friends that had went on that route, they weren't like really liking their situation in the towns they were at. You know, like they didn't have anything to do other than go and hit BP and stuff like that, and practice baseball, and they weren't really liking it. So I was just big on fishing. You know what I mean? Like I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I didn't really have any better things to do. Like, but the one thing I was going to do because the old baseball coach, before Vitello, he was there, right? He was the coach of my senior year. And I'd actually talked to him and like their recruiting coordinator, Larry Simcox. who's been a coach at UT for a long time, or was. And I was going to walk on at UT as their like bullpen, like their, third string catcher, and be their bullpen catcher and just be a walk on the team. But Vitello came in and I was just like, I'm going fishing. You know what I mean? I'm fishing and just going to school.
I was going to say, because that's where my question was leading is, so you turn down scholarships, but Tony V calls, Vitello calls and goes, Rob G, we need you. You got some eligibility left. I mean, you got to.
Oh, I would have done it.
A year playing with that crew, right?
I wouldn't be where I'm at today, though, if I wanted to play baseball. That's for sure. But it was crazy. You should know, at high school, I was the catcher for the Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. You know what I mean? And just playing baseball with 30 MLB scouts behind you.
Wow, that's a pressure cooker. Yeah, pressure cooker.
It was crazy.
It's probably why you're cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yes,
and a very positive guy, man. You definitely seem like you don't get spun out, and that was probably intense, I would say.
For sure, it was. Like, I mean, literally 30 guys with 30 radar gunning this guy, and you have to catch 98 in high school. I was 18 catching 98.
No, I'm good on that.
It was crazy.
That's awesome, man. That is too cool. Well, as we close it out, I gotta say, make sure you're following Robert G. First of all on all social media, man. Go. What's the name of the YouTube channel again, where they can see this house full of hammers?
So it's on Logan Parks' YouTube channel.
All Logan stuff.
Logan Parks Fishing, I think.
And it's good. The edits are great. I've seen it. It's good stuff. So it's all on Logan's. Check it out there. And I got one more favor to ask. Whenever you make your next top 10, we need a daddy hat on stage. Come on with it.
Daddy hat.
Dude, my 16-year-old, we were in Knoxville.
That would be awesome.
I guess we were 2 falls ago. We didn't come up to a game last year. But 2 falls ago, we came to the Missouri game where it was so cold and we blew them out up there. And he had to have a damn daddy hat. And he walks around, and I'm like, you can't wear that to a fishing tournament, man. The pink daddy hat, so we need a daddy hat on stage.
You know how Robertson always wears the mink coat?
Yes, dude.
That would be pretty good kind of deal, wearing the daddy hat and the mink coat.
Classic.
That would be wild.
Okay, right here. Low lifer. If you're not Tennessee fans, you might not understand this. Well, if you watch SEC baseball, you probably hate what we're talking about right now because it made the Vols hated a couple years ago for sure. But the daddy hat is in the guy that hits a home run gets to wear the daddy hat in the dugout there. So
that's pretty good. I might have to get one if I catch like a 5 or 6 pounder. Put that on,
a Yamaha blue daddy hat.
That would be good.
That would be pretty good. The rope hat with daddy on it. There you go. Tell John
Yamaha on the side.
Yeah, just Yamaha here, daddy across the front. You heard it here, folks. Rob G is going to wear the daddy hat. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, man. It's been a dream to come on here, and I'm finally glad I got to.
No doubt, man. You'll be back very soon. We'll do one of these in person. You live too close to not do it again real soon.
For sure. I'm down. I'd like to get in the studio and
the bar and grill.
I want to get on there with Josh Butts. I listened to that one.
We will make it happen. The Duncan Butts episode 2 will be sometime in June. We've not nailed down the date, but the next one, Rob G, you're invited down, buddy.
Heck yeah. Awesome.
Robert G Fishing all over social media. Y'all go check him out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nothing but a G thing. Right there. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I am a big Rob G fan, and I appreciate him taking the time to come chat with us low lifers. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. Hope y'all have a great week. Do not forget the Southern Boating Supply launch June the 5th of the new website. Soft launch, but there'll be some products on there like our Hook Haven. We've got some hats for you to check out and more to come. SouthernBoatingSupply.com on June the 5th. I appreciate each and every one of you low lifers, and we'll take you out with Biloxi Blues. And I will see y'all next week. See Go Big Orange.
Spanish moss, a Civil War ghost. Well, I'm gonna leave them in the past. Any direction, Lord, I'll be fine. It don't matter east or west. I'm leaving those burdens at rest. This highway, it does not know my name, and I don't care. No, I don't care. Heading my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.